Today, we're jumping in to talk about the bullish sentiment in the market over the past 7 to 14 days. We've had a very exciting few days in the market with a lot of the stuff happening in the United States with regulatory clarity, with prices moving higher for Bitcoin, and many altcoins breaking out. What does this mean for your portfolio? What does it mean for liquidity pools and LP opportunities to generate cash flow? That's what we're going to talk about today. Let's get into it. Okay, so jumping in first and foremost, as we can see, Bitcoin currently sitting at $118,780 at the time of recording this video. And the big move that we've really seen over the past 7 to 10 days has been this breakout above previous all-time highs around $112,000 for Bitcoin to move significantly higher. We went as high as $123,000. We're now consolidating in this kind of 116 to $120,000 area. And in my opinion, we are poised to move and continue higher throughout Q3 and into Q4 of 2025. If we zoom out here and look at M2 global liquidity and the correlation between Bitcoin and how global M2 has continued to increase, we can see that Bitcoin has been following global M2, both moving to the upside and to the downside over the past number of months. We can see how we followed global M2 with that 8 to 12 week delay in Q1. We had that pullback in Bitcoin price. And then as we saw global M2 expanding here in Q2, and of course into Q3 now as well, we've seen the price of Bitcoin continue to follow it to the upside. Again, we are not seeing a real sign of slowing down. Yes, there's always going to be choppiness here along that way. We can see even a small pullback in the past couple of weeks, but again, global M2 ticking back to the upside. And what I think we're going to see is Bitcoin continue to follow that price action to the upside and continue moving higher as we move through Q3 and Q4. So what does this mean for you, your portfolio, and for getting in front of opportunities for liquidity pools? Well, in my opinion, what we're seeing is possibly the very early stages of an altcoin season. And we made a few videos here on the UIG channel a few weeks ago discussing the opportunities that might be coming with a potential altcoin season. And there's a few key charts that I'm looking at to help me determine what's actually happening there. One of those charts is ETH to Bitcoin. If we bring up an ETH BTC chart, we can see that Ethereum has been significantly outperforming Bitcoin over the past 90 days. We can see Ethereum is technically outperforming Bitcoin by 80%. Over the past 3 months, we've seen ETH BTC move higher, reclaim that 200-day simple moving average, and it's continuing to move even higher as a result. We did have to see ETH bleed out against Bitcoin a long way here over the past couple of years, coming all the way down to this key level of support on the chart here. This level of support going back to 2019 and 2020 respectively, we had to come all the way down to hit that key level of support before getting the bounce. But what we're seeing now with this move for Ethereum is more of an altcoin season really beginning to kick off, and Ethereum leading the charge. Okay, another key chart here that correlates with that exact same story is looking at Bitcoin dominance. Again, what we're looking for to really signify a true altcoin season is a strong breakdown in Bitcoin dominance. And we've been discussing this on the channel here for a number of months, but we're finally seeing that beginning to happen. You can see we got a level of resistance here around that 65.7% area, and we've had a very sharp drop off in Bitcoin dominance over the past couple of weeks. We've moved from 65.7% down to 60.34%. And you can see that every single day for the past 7 to 10 days, we've been continuing lower. Again, this is a similar drawdown to what we saw back in November, December of 2024. This drawdown here signified a really nice rally for altcoins in November, into December, and even a little bit into January of 2025. But what we're really looking for is a more extended move to the downside. Again, zooming out on the chart here to the weekly, looking back to what happened in 2021, this much larger drawdown here from this 72% area down to Bitcoin dominance hitting 40%. This was the true altcoin season during the last cycle. And you can see the price action we've had here, or the percentage movement, is still very, very small compared to what we saw in Q1 and Q2 of 2021. So again, we could be on the precipice or the very early stages of an altcoin season. I think it's still too early to confirm that. But what that really gets me excited about is positioning portfolio positions into altcoins and potentially even looking at crypto to crypto or altcoin to altcoin pool opportunities for generating significant amounts of cash flow, but also significant amounts of price appreciation. The other chart I'm watching here to give me a very good signal on that is the total 3 minus USDT and USDC divided by Bitcoin. If we zoom into the daily here, what we've been talking about on the channel here for the past number of months is waiting for a breakout of this downtrend. Again, we had a really nice rally with altcoins priced in Bitcoin terms back in Q4 of 2024. But since we hit those middle of December highs, technically speaking, every altcoin or the majority of altcoins were bleeding out against Bitcoin when priced in Bitcoin terms in this downtrend from January through to July of 2025. And what you've seen literally again in the past 7 to 14 days is a breakout of this downtrend and prices moving higher for altcoins priced in Bitcoin terms. And even in the past 48 hours, reclaiming that 200-day simple moving average and continuing to move higher. So this is the signal I was looking for to help give me an inkling that we were going to move into an altcoin season. And again, highly considering the opportunity now for providing liquidity into crypto to crypto asset pairs, because you're seeing majority of altcoins, especially over this past 7 to 14 days, significantly outperforming Bitcoin when priced in Bitcoin terms. And if your goal, let's say, is to generate cash flow, you're going to get phenomenal gains, but you're also going to end up with more Bitcoin when providing liquidity and getting price appreciation with crypto to crypto pairs, because the vast majority of them are outperforming Bitcoin when priced in Bitcoin terms. That is exactly what this chart is telling us. Reclaiming that 200-day is getting me somewhat bullish here, because we can see even just back in November, after we reclaimed the 200-day simple moving average, we went on to do another plus 40% gain for altcoins against Bitcoin. And once again, zooming out to the weekly here, going back to check out this huge move that was made back during the previous cycle after we reclaimed the 200-day for alts versus Bitcoin back in 2021. Alts went on to do an additional 187% gain against Bitcoin over a 105-day period. So again, very exciting times to be in the market, to be providing liquidity, to be thinking about different pool opportunities here with these breakouts that we're seeing. We've just had one of the most bullish weeks ever in the crypto landscape. The passing of the Genius Act, better stablecoin, regulatory clarity in the United States. And I think what you're seeing is many companies beginning to continue to add to their Bitcoin treasuries. You're even seeing Ethereum and Solana treasury companies coming out of the woodworks, even Tau treasury companies. And I think the setup here as we move into Q3 and Q4, even regardless of whether we get further rate cuts, which I think we will get at some point, but the setup is looking phenomenal in terms of regulatory clarity, in terms of altcoins making a move against Bitcoin based on the data that I'm seeing in the charts here. Again, you're having Ethereum starting to outperform Bitcoin. You're having the majority of altcoins now beginning to outperform Bitcoin when priced in Bitcoin terms. And if we look at total crypto market cap, we've seen total crypto market cap break out above resistance into price discovery. And again, I think this bodes very, very well for us to continue moving higher. And so if you're not taking advantage of this phenomenal opportunity right now, guys, check out the links in the description below this video. We're helping tons of clients increase revenue and cash flow from doing and executing on DeFi liquidity provision, providing liquidity across Ethereum, Solana, Bitcoin, and many other networks. If you want to get involved, check out the links below this video and we'll help you do the hard work. That is it for today's video, guys. I hope you got some value. Remember, if you got any value at all, make sure to smash that thumbs up button below, hit subscribe, check out the link in the description for the UIG. Even if you're not ready to join the fast track with our high quality clients, there is a completely free course for you waiting in the description. So much value in that, even just with the free material that we provide. Check it out in the description below, and we'll catch you in the next one.